Welcome back to the Heart Coaching. I'm Bryce Wise, and today we're going to learn about the last and most important connection style. Let's find out. The last connection style is actually the confident connector. And this one is super interesting because unlike the other ones where they'll just naturally happen because of this, the confident connector is the only one that you have to work at to become. It's the only one that you won't just happen. It is the only one that life circumstances won't make you a confident connector. You actually have to want to be a confident connector, and you have to actually be growing as a confident connector. Like, there's no just happening with the confident connector. And so it's probably the most important connection style. And then, because this is the one that we all want to be. This is the one that brings us the most joy. This is the one that brings us the happiness. This is the one that fulfills and makes us have meaning. This is the one that we want to be. It's the confident connector. And so the confident connector, first off, has gotten rid of their insecurities. They know that they have value. They know that they have things to say. They know that they can help people. And they don't let insecurities run their life. Things like, I'm not good enough, you'll never be. They have worked through those things to a point where they're actually in a very good, healthy space. The confident connector is not perfect. A lot of times you think of these people as like, oh, they're perfect. They still have things that they've worked through. They still have things that will come up. You can't be a confident connector 100% of the time. But you can be a confident connector a lot of the time, and you can be a confident connector majority of the time. These people still are working through. And the thing about the confident connector is they're always continuing to know what their emotions are. They're always kind of feeling about why am I feeling upset? Why am I feeling hurt? Why am I doing this? And they really want to just always improve themselves. They really want to be the best version of themselves. Because when they're the best version of themselves, they're the happiest. They're the most energetic. They're the best. When a confident connector is connecting with you, they make you feel like you're the only one in the room, no matter how big the room is. They take interest in you. They listen to you. They care about what you are saying. And this makes them being able to connect with people in any environment and in any way. And it's so critical that, for them to actually connect. Their whole goal is to connect with people and really show people that they care, that they care about the person, that they love the person. And, a lot of times the confident connector has this swag to them that people want to be around them, people want to hang out with them, not because they're the populars, but because they give the most care. And as a confident connector, that's really what they're really, really good at, is giving the most care. Because they're not coming from a place of insecurities, and they're not coming from a place of pain and hurt. They're coming from a place of healing. They're coming from a place of wholeness. And really, they're coming from a place that God intended us to be at. And it's so important and vital to realize, these confident connectors aren't perfect. They have things in their life just like you and me, but they're willing to work through them, and they continually try to better themselves. Whether it's getting better at school or getting better at all these other things, school, life, marriage, relationships, they want to be the best version of themselves. They really, truly believe that growth is always possible and that they can always grow and become a better person. And that's what gives them joy. That's what gives them the ability to be able to connect. That's what gives them the care for people. That's what gives them meaning and value to their life. And as they grow, they get even more confident. Because as they continue to work on their past hurts and their past pains and their challenges, they become more confident. I mean, as that confidence grows, it actually makes it easier to connect and build healthier, better relationships. Because again, they're coming from a place of wholeness and not brokenness. My favorite example of a confident connector is Mr. Rogers. Mr. Rogers was an incredible human being. Mr. Rogers had care for people like hardly anybody I've seen. Mr. Rogers cared for people deeply, especially children. And he came up, and Mr. Rogers would talk to people and make them feel like they were so important, no matter what level of life they were in. He made radical changes by doing, like, showing people as human and care, and he encouraged people to be the best version of themselves. And there was many times where they had to delay Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood filming it because Mr. Rogers cared more about a human than he did about filming. And so he would talk to kids that would come into the studio or staff members that were in the studio, and they would have to delay actually filming the show because he was taking care and caring for people. Mr. Rogers was also really good at writing personal notes to people and telling people that he was thinking about them and that they had value and that they, he was really encouraged by seeing them and meeting them. Mr. Rogers cared for everybody. It didn't matter if you were a little child or if you were an adult or if you were homeless or if you were a musician or if you were a mailman. He cared for everybody. Now, Mr. Rogers got upset, but when he would get upset, he would better himself and look at why he got upset. And I've watched a lot of interviews and a lot of documentaries on Mr. Rogers, and everybody said that Mr. Rogers made them feel like he was the only person in the room, no matter how big he was. He would spend valuable, quality time. And he would do exactly what our initial definition of connection is, which is an intentional, emotional investment into somebody's life. Mr. Rogers would really intentionally, emotionally invest into people's lives, and it changed their life. It changed them so much for the better. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking probably like, Bryce. Like, that's nice for Mr. Rogers. That's nice for you. But I can't become a confident connector. I can't grow in that way. And the thing about the confident connector is it's not something that just happens. The confident connector is something that you have to work towards and you have to build and really want it for your life. And if you want better, healthier, more authentic connections, you can actually do it through becoming a confident connector. And so what do you need to become a confident connector? And what do you need to grow and thrive? Well, the first thing you need to do is you need to get rid of your insecurities. This could happen through counseling. This could happen through time. This could happen through just thinking about it and processing through it. Because when you know why you're being affected and how those emotions are telling you and why you're in a slump and why things are going bad, and you can work that back to the root, you actually can learn and grow in confidence. And so if you can be able to build healthy, authentic connection because you have value, because you see yourself as worthy. That's the next big one is a confident connector finds value in themselves. They don't see themselves as beat down trash. They don't see themselves as terrible. They see themselves as having value, as being unique, as being somebody that people want to listen to. And that comes not from just mustering up the very thing like, I have value, but really working those things out that don't give you value. What in your life today is not giving you value that you're holding on to? It could be, well, my parents think I'm not good enough. It could be, I'm unemployed. It could be, your fears, your pains, your anger. Like, whatever those things are, what you're holding on to things that are not allowing you to be your true, authentic self. The next thing about a confident connector is not only have they worked through their emotions, not only do they see value, but they're authentically themselves. They are not what people want them to be. They're not what people like them to be, but they are people that are authentically themselves. And people can tell authenticity. And so for you to grow and thrive, you need authenticity in your life. You need something in your life that says, I am exactly who I'm supposed to be. At this moment, are you exactly who you're supposed to be? Are you exactly who God intended you to be? Because if you are, you'll start growing and seeing value, and you'll start digging into those relationships and feeling better about yourself. The last thing a confident connector really is and does, and you should strive to do, is the confident connector digs in. They dig in with relationships. They dig in with personal growth. They dig in with healing. They dig in with people. They dig in with connection. Every area of their life, they dig into themselves. They dig in. They don't just stay on the surface. They don't just hang out there, but they really go deep and they really dig into things. They're very present and they're very aware of what's going on around them, and they're very dug in. Thank you. I just want to say thank you so much for taking the time today to better your connections. Thank you for building healthier, better connections in a way that is going to last for years to come. If you want to learn more about the connection styles, you can find us on Facebook. We run a weekly webinar, which I'll link down below, that teaches you this and teaches you how to use the connection styles to really leverage those connections and really grow in them. You can find us on Facebook at The Heart Coaching, and you can subscribe here on YouTube at The Heart Coaching. And remember, when we connect, life gets better. See ya!